Quality food service starts with the best ingredients, passion, hard work, the right specialist, and a solid plan. But a plan is not enough. What about your policy, your mission, or creating a vision? Who is capable of helping you with the best hospitality decisions? A specialist. But a specialist on its own can't know everything, can't be everywhere, can't know all specs, can't have all the time, can't give you all the support you need, can't be all over the world, can't guarantee the best quality, and can't make the best decisions. But our FCSI consultants, together with our network, our knowledge, our connections and our system, they know everything. Our management and design consultants are everywhere. They know all the specs and all the newest innovations. They have all the time. They can give you the support you need. Together, they have all the experiences they need to help you make the best decisions. Together, we know the industry. Together, we can be all over the world and give strong independent advice to fulfill your solid plan and secure your future. FCSI is about products, projects, but most of all, about people. Together, we share, we support, we inspire. FCSI.
So Friday Talks is an FCSI thing. I explained to you, we're doing that since I think 2019 or 2020 already, every Friday 9 to 10. And we invite people to do a special, we call it highlight talks in German. Sometimes we do just blah, blah, meeting, talking about what's happening. And since this year, we started the EAME talk, things that might be interesting for all of us in the EAME region or above. So, but it's the EAME talk. And I'm very happy today to have Caspar here to talk about the mysterious ChatGPT. But Caspar, say something to your company, please, and webpage maybe. So as a start to warm up, and I hand over to you now.
Good. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, let's get started. Frank, I think that's very interesting, the things you said about AI being scary and we all have to fear for losing our jobs. And I just want to make clear that that's not going to be the case. We can all use it in a very handy way. And today I will be showing you how to get started, how to use prompts. Let me share my screen first, because you might be thinking, prompts, what is that? To be sure, can you all see my screen right now? Yes, I see some nods. Okay, perfect. So before starting, we had an interesting chat where there's basically two camps saying that ChatGPT is going to take over the world, or going to people lose their jobs, or can we all use it together in a good way to save time, to be more efficient, and change the way we work, and perhaps even change the way we live or do business. And that's why, I decided to basically put this into 4 topics, and title would be how ChatGPT is changing our work and life. By the way, I often hear people say chat GTP or chat GSC or whatever. A good way to remember is that it's in alphabetical order. So the G, the P, and then the T. So I'll be telling you what it is, how it works, how we can work more efficiently with ChatGPT, which is basically just going out there and try to play with it, try putting in some prompts. And the prompts is something that will be very, very important when using ChatGPT. Basically, a prompt, for now short, is the input you put in there. And the prompt is how vague the prompt is. So if you would ask a person a vague question, you can imagine they would be responding with a vague answer. You can tell by using ChatGPT that is way, way worse. So prompts is definitely an important thing. And then last but not least, very important, which is one of the, I don't want to say risks, but definitely accuracy and reliability. So basically what you put out or what ChatGPT puts out there, always be sure to check. Let's get started. What is ChatGPT? So I tried something here, and that is to put in a prompt to ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, what are you exactly? Can you explain to me in 50 words what exactly you are? So it responds as a person. I am ChatGPT is how it starts, an AI language model, etc. What it does, or the company that owns it, the logos on the left is OpenAI. It was started amongst others by Elon Musk. You've all heard of this name. He's now out of the company. He decided to leave the company, which is a whole different story. I won't get into that. But basically, ChatGPT is trained with examples and basically learns the same way that we learn, by experience and by doing trial and error feedback. And I think one of the most remarkable things about ChatGPT, about the tool, is that it reached over 1 million users within just 5 days. So if we look at Facebook or Instagram or email or any other kind of new form of technology, it took way, way longer. And the people using it is growing. So I hope after today, the people who are not using it yet will be added to that number. So in short, what is so good about ChatGPT? And for me and for many other people, it comes down to 3 things really. And first, it is the simple interface, because when you enter the browser, and I will show you in another slide, you can basically type in the URL, make an account. You can make one with your Google account or your Facebook account, and you can just start chatting with it. Ask it a question. Suppose now a topic you wanna talk about, or you want to know something about, you can just ask it, and you can get started right away. Then again, the clear prompts, the input is very important. So if you put in a clear prompt, I will show you later, the tool provides quick and straight to the point answers. Unless, of course, if you wanted to give a very extensive answer. So let's go back for a second. Here I asked, explain to me 50 words what exactly you are. So the emphasis would be on 50 words. I don't know, I haven't counted the 50 words, but I would not be surprised if it's actually 50 words, but it might be a bit more, it might be a bit less. So let's say you would want an answer of, I don't know, like 400 words or 4 paragraphs. You can put that in there and it will give you the answer in not so straight to the point answers. Then I already explained a bit about the second thing that makes it so good, which is you are able to optimize and personalize the output, which is also something I will be showing later. You can add refined prompts, add specific instructions. For example, if you want to write an email with it, you tell it to, hey, please write me an email on this topic. And important is that you write the formal, in a formal form, like Z instead of the do form. I hope my pronunciation was okay on that. Then, if you have a prompt or an output which you are not completely happy with yet, and please be aware, I will be sharing this presentation, so you can always look back at it if I'm going too fast, and also ask questions if you're not following it anymore, if it becomes unclear. Feedback for better answers is what I like most, I think. So it remembers the input and it allows feedback. So if you have an answer which you are not 100% happy with, you can ask it to, well, maybe write it a bit longer or shorter, or use a more emotional tone of voice or more rational. There's a lot you can do with it. So again, the prompts is actually, for me and for most people, the most important thing. And since the rise of ChatGPT, an interesting thing is that there's actually jobs being created, which are called prompt engineers. So people are getting paid a lot of money, actually, to come up with good prompts to get certain outcomes or specific outcomes. And there's actually 3 essentials, I would say, to these prompts. And first off, I always remember to myself, when I use the tool, vague input is vague output. So try to be as specific as possible with it. So one is an output objective. what do you want out of it? Is it an email? Is it a blog? Do you want research? Is there something you're unsure of that you want a second opinion? Then a specific format for a response. So you could write, for example, use a maximum of 200 words, or please write in an informal tone of voice. And keywords, of course, or else it would not know what to give the output on. Saving energy in the kitchen, for example. Now, a couple of examples, and these are just very short, very brief examples you could use. I have a sheet of prompts I could share with you all after the presentation, for you to play with, for you to discover what works, what doesn't work. So for example, how important is X when doing Y? In any case, how important is the setting of the table when organizing a wedding, for example, which probably will give you a very generic answer, but you can get into detail a lot more. For example, what to take into account when organizing a wedding at my venue. And it possibly will show up with a list of 8 or 10 things what you should take into account. And the funny thing is, when you have that list, you can ask it to for example, if there's point 4, which is making sure the wedding invitations get sent at the right time, you could ask it, point 4, please elaborate on point 4. What should I do to make sure the wedding invitations get sent at the right time? So it could be seen as a personal assistant. Of course, not like the complete experience. Like for easy things, you could use it. Another thing is research in the form of what are the most popular vegan dishes in Manchester, England, according to online reviews. Another one, according to online reviews, what are the most popular Indian restaurants in Newcastle? It will probably give you a very clear example, but then again, always check the accuracy and reliability, because it simply might not be true. If you use the free version, there's only information known until 2021, if I'm correct. There's some plugins, but I'm not going into that now. And advice and implementation. This is kind of the stuff I really like. So to be creative with it, to just play with it. I mentioned 5 ingredients. So for each, I see there's a spelling mistake in there, my bad. For each ingredient, come up with a summer dish of around 500 calories. And it will. I tried it, I tested it. I'm not a fantastic cook, so I'm not sure if they taste any good. You might want to ask it, again, if it comes up with these 5 recipes or dishes, you might want to ask it, which one would people say is the tastiest? So you can basically ask it anything, and it might reply something in the trend of, I'm not sure because I am an AI language model, I don't taste. Could be. Then this is what I use most. So I like connecting people. So this is actually one of the things I asked it. I'm not too happy with the output, but I know 3 people with these skills, and I elaborated. I didn't put it all in there, but I mentioned the people, the 3 skills, and how we can start working together and how we could actually help each other. And it comes up with personal stuff, like how you could help each other in personal life. So I had to add specify in a business environment. And then it asks, okay, what kind of business are you running? So it is really there to help. And I truly believe it is a development and a technology which is here to help us. And the last prompt I put in here is the prompt I'll be showing you. Write a response to this negative customer review, and then I pasted the customer complaint in there, which is, I'll give you some time to read that. So basically the customer, he or she asks or lets the venue know that the quality of the breakfast was not good enough, not enough options. Vegetarians, the acoustic was also not good. The value for money, underwhelming. And I can imagine, okay, you sitting there and you get this review, like, what should I do? There's some ideas I have. Should I offer a free night? I should definitely make sure that the room, the acoustics are to be improved. And I should check with the kitchen staff, because what happened with the quality of breakfast. So what you see here is ChatGPT with the green OpenAI logo on the left. This is the answer. The prompt is above, which is basically the prompt before, just to make sure this is the prompt I put in there. On the right bottom, write a response to this negative customer review. That is basically the question or the assignment I gave it. So what it comes back with is very simple, very, very short email. It is sincere, but I can imagine that it is not satisfactory to the guest. Well, as it ends, as a guest, I would not be 100% satisfied with a reply as your satisfaction is a top priority. We hope to have another opportunity to exceed your expectations in the future, because I would not be coming there in the future. So not very valuable. And the thing is, it's because of the prompt. Prompt is too generic. And what I would like to show you is the following, which is an answer to what ChatGPT basically gave us. So I asked it, thank you. Could you please make sure the reply is a little friendlier? Could you also add in the fact that we want to give the guest a 20% discount on their next stay, and that they can send us an email, which is still pretty brief. I'm not asking it a lot. So what it does, it basically checks their first, or yeah, ChatGPT basically checks what you put in there before, what the answer was, and now how it can improve. So this is basically the way ChatGPT learns, by, well, accepting feedback and making the responses a bit better. And you can see, to me at least, as I would be a guest or a hotel manager, I would much rather receive or send a reply like this. We truly appreciate your honest comments, which is a nice add-on. Also, we apologize for the inconvenience caused. And the funny thing is, I didn't put anything in there to make ChatGPT come up with this. So it's pretty genius how it does that itself. We're actively looking into improving the acoustic conditions, which might not be true, because I did not put that in the prompt anywhere. So then again, please always check the accuracy, reliability. Don't just send anything that ChatGPT gives you. And then again, I think this email is way better. You might not want to send it immediately. You might want to add some stuff, edit some stuff. But as a guest, I would be way happier to receive this. So this is just an example of how you can use a prompt. Go back for the first one, just to compare for a second. An okay email for an okay prompt. And I'll be honest, these two prompts are too generic, but I just wanted to show you like what an answer would be if this is the prompt you put in there. So prompt is input, and I think the word prompt is going to be used a lot in the future. We'll be hearing that word a lot. Yeah, the feedback or implement. Basically, there's two things you can do with output of ChatGPT. If you're not completely satisfied with the output it gives, you might want to give it feedback so it can improve itself. On top of the answer, the output is too generic. Can you please write a short summary for each point and elaborate on the action points in a report form? Which is not so generic, it's pretty specific, but it will do that. This is just one example of feedback you can give it. And to go back for a second, this is also one example of feedback. So thank you. Could you please make sure it is a little bit friendlier? And it picks up the word friendlier. So yes, it will make the next output a lot friendlier, which it is. And that is, of course, important for the reader. So when you put in something, you really want to ask yourself, who is this output for? Who's going to be reading it? what would this person value, and how can I make sure it is in my prompts? How can I make sure it is in the instructions? Another thing you could do is implement. So when you're finished in ChatGPT, you've used it for the thing you want to use it for, you could implement. And it could be all sorts of ways. It could be a blog article ChatGPT has written. It could be an advice it has given you. And now you can share it with whoever you want to share it with, or use it for yourself, of course. You can use it to research. But this is basically what could be done after this last prompt. So based on the output, before, could you please draft an email to the business manager asking about the status of the acoustics, which is important internally? Can you also draft an email to the online marketing department with a 20% discount code? And Gregor, I see your question. Is there a danger for people to unlearn their communication skills with using ChatGPT? I think so. I think so. That's I wouldn't want to say a danger, but I noticed that around me, that people are relying too much on technology. I would say more, to be honest, and this is not a snare or anything, the younger generation is too focused on social media, making stuff easier, learning less. In the Netherlands, for example, they are making the exams, high school exams, easier and easier each year, which I don't completely agree with, but we might in total be relying on technology a bit too much in the general form. So yeah, this is one of the risks of using ChatGPT, and not going out there and just talk to people stuck behind our screens and basically relying too much on ChatGPT. One thing I might want to add is that it could be difficult in the future to see or conclude in an online way who is an expert on a topic, who has the expert status on something, because I might tell all of you people, hey, listen to me, I am a chat or AI expert, which I'm not, by the way. I know one or two things about it, but I could make sure that people online would believe it, because you could use ChatGPT in a way that you could tell it, hey, could you please, I want to be an expert on ChatGPT or any topic. What is the knowledge I should know? So it comes up with a list probably of, I don't know, 5 to 10 points, and you can ask it all about that stuff and just basically write whatever you want on LinkedIn, on your Facebook page, portraying yourself as an expert, which you are not. So the smart people will understand or will know that it's not someone with expert status. But then again, it takes trust to see who is actually an expert on the topic, which is an interesting development as well. And I think in the real world, I want to call it, it's pretty easy to understand if someone is an expert. Ask a question, go into depth. Yes, you will know who's an expert or not. Ask it online. People could open ChatGPT very quickly and come up with an answer. So if you're looking for a new, new employee whatsoever, don't rely on online communication that much. I think that's what it comes down to. And any other negative impact that I can address, Joyce? Thank you for that question. Limitations as a user that you can advise. Yeah, so there's one thing that should be taken into account. Trusted company info. Just don't put any trusted company info in there if you don't want other people to see it, because it learns from the input and it might spew out anything that it learned before. That would be basically the only limitation I would give if you want to start using ChatGPT. So basically, anything you would not want your neighbor to know, don't tell it to ChatGPT, in short. Interesting questions. If there's any other questions, please ask. I hope I can answer these. Wait, let me continue, Jörg. I will continue with the presentation first, and I think there's a couple more questions. I will answer these in a bit. So where we left off is the implement. How do I start working with ChatGPT? For the people who already use it, I know that you know that it's very, very easy to use. It is basically opening a laptop or a phone. Even you can use it on your phone. There's an app. Basically, go to ChatGPT or OpenAI/ChatGPT. You can also just enter ChatGPT on Google. Click one or two buttons, make an account with your Google account or your Facebook account or your email, and you're in. You can then start. You can get started. What is your first prompt going to be? What do you want to get out of ChatGPT? Is there a challenge you have currently? Are you working on something and you want some help? Do you have a question? You want to write a blog article? Do you want a summary on something? Just think about how you would want to use it. So start a conversation by entering a question or a task in the chat box. And the thing I would want to tell you guys is just try to use it. Just try and play with it, and you'll get better by using it. You'll start noticing, differences on the way you use it. How you can work with it in the best way. And of course, if necessary, if the prompt does not give the expected outcome, just enter a follow-up question or a comment for more information. Like we saw before, like please be a bit more friendly in your tone of voice. That could be one. And always review the output and check for any errors or inaccuracies, which is, I can't emphasize that enough, because there's been some funny failures on ChatGPT, some not so funny failures as well. But one example is that they let ChatGPT try to pass the Dutch exam. So this is something that 17 or 18-year-olds do, and ChatGPT couldn't pass it. So this is one of the things which you should be doing always review the output. Still a work. It's still a work. What I've shown you now is ChatGPT 3, and I will not be going into ChatGPT 4, but just to give you an example of how the technology is going at this point, at this rate. We have ChatGPT, which was launched a while back, which is just text. You can use it to create blogs, create an email, summarize a report. And ChatGPT 4 has been launched for a while now. It is easy to use if you use text. It is a bit harder to use if you want to implement or get out audio, video, or images. There's all sorts of technology and APIs and input and plugins needed to use it. So I will not be going into that. But be aware that these are possibilities. You can get audio out of it. There's videos that can be created with, and images. I think you all have seen some images created by AI, sort of prompts they put in there to make these images are very, 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 very specific. So a prompt can easily be 400 words. So for the background, I want, for example, a blue bunny eating a green strawberry on a mountaintop. Just an example, very strange image that one could want to create. But if you give it a very detailed prompt, you can then copy that into another tool, and yes, it will make that image for you, which is a topic for another day. Two more interesting facts, and then we're almost going to be concluding the presentation, which is what I think is really amazing. It currently supports more than 50 languages, which is just mind-blowing to me. How does that work? How does it do that? And I'm not sure about how it does that. Of course, it's about learning itself, but nearly flawlessly. There's been some mistakes still, but even like Hindi or less used languages, it is using, and that to me is just mind-blowing. And I found this one really interesting as well. So approximately 58% of the US adult population knows about ChatGPT, but there's only 14% that have used it. And I think there might be only 5% who are, or perhaps even 10% by now, who are using it on a daily basis to make their work a bit smarter, more efficiently, change the way they work. Last but not least, they have now, there's now an app, a ChatGPT app. I'm not using it myself. I'm only using this for my personal life. But there's stuff you could put in there to end with a funny note. You put in there, Anna just texted me this, will you come to this concert with me? How do I decline nicely? And GPT gives you a very politically correct answer. Hey Anna, thanks for the invite. I can't make it, but I hope you have a blast and let's catch up soon if you really run out of options or inspiration. Thank you. Questions. Jörg, you had a question. Let me read that quickly. Do I think that different language models will communicate directly with each other in the future? In other words, not human-machine communication, but machine-machine communication. Yes, I do think so. I also think that is already happening on a very low scale. But yes, these language models are communicating with each other. There's a lot of apps currently being built, or new startups they call it, being built on ChatGPT, so on the large language model that OpenAI is using. These are like, how would I say, technologies on technologies, and they are speaking with each other as we speak. Not in a bad way yet. Not sure if that's going to happen. If we should really be afraid of AI, I don't think so. We can always pull the plug, not to think in a doom scenario. But yeah, machine to machine communication is happening and has been happening for a while. Beatrix, what about copyright of text and paintings generated by ChatGPT? This is an interesting topic because there has been a discussion online about copyright for several months now, which is that basically the large language model, it scrapes like a lot of data from the internet, and there might be something in there. Of course, well, there is something in there that has been made by someone or an artist. So if you would ask it, could you please make a, I don't know, like a painting with two people in there under a starry moon or under a starry night, which resembles the style of Vincent van Gogh. It would do that, and it would, of course, have to have input on who is Vincent van Gogh, what was his painting style like, and how can I make a painting just like that. So copyright is definitely a thing, and there's artists who are not too happy with it using it. But for the greater good, to be honest, I don't think it's a bad thing if we create and use it together. You can use it in the way you want to use it. But there's news about copywriting. I read about it a lot and I follow it a lot. So I do understand the artists, what they're saying, but is it really running them out of business? I don't know. I honestly don't think so. Hope that answers your question, Beatrice. George, do not share anything with ChatGPT that you wouldn't share with your neighbor. True, yeah, ChatGPT, is it specifically trained to each individual user, or from some feedback I offer add to a larger ChatGPT database and provide that information to all users? That's a very good question, and the latter is the case. So anything you put in there is added to the large database ChatGPT has, and that's why I would say don't add in anything which involves very personal stuff, work stuff up to a certain level to help it as being a personal assistant. But be generic. Don't, for example, if you're in a tender or buying another business, in the acquisition of another business, don't share like very, very detailed information on it. Again, for another user, it will be very hard to find it because it would have to ask specifically, hey, ChatGPT, is there any other user who added this and that information you can tell me about? So I would say to be careful, but don't overdo it. There's a lot of things you can share and that other people will not be knowing about. But again, George, yes, the feedback and the prompts you put in there are added to a larger ChatGPT database, which is basically how the large language model learns. Faisal, you think that ChatGPT can help you more if you use it in the right way? What do I think about the future with ChatGPT? That's an interesting thing. I would love to know what the future beholds for us. And I think more and more people are going to be using it. I've been using it for, let's say, half a year now. I'm using it more and more efficiently. And I'm very glad I found the tool because it's made my work and communication as well easier, more effective, more efficiently. It's really been helping me. And I know that a lot of freelancers I work with and we work with use it as well. For example, to be found on Google, we had used a Google Keywords tool to make sure which keywords we should use in our strategy, which we can now do in ChatGPT, through ChatGPT. It took a while to learn that and to find the right prompts. But with the right prompts, there's a lot you can do. And if you think about the future, I think it's going to be, it's going to be a very, very handy development and technology for all of us. I hope that answers your questions, Faisal. Yes, there are alternatives like Bard and others. To be honest, if you're starting with AI chatbots and tools, I would be starting with ChatGPT. Bard is interesting, it's still developing. Most of the current tools are built on the ChatGPT or the OpenAI language model. And the one thing I like most about ChatGPT is the ease of working with it. So it's extremely easy to start a new chat, start chatting with it. The interface is very simple. Bard is a bit more complex, I would say, to use. Not just the interface, but also to get the right response out of it by using prompts. If I say this correctly, it remembers a bit less on what you have said or what you have put in there.
But for me, in between, Caspar, is it not changing the way we are searching the internet for information? So I learned, for me, it was very difficult after, working with ChatGPT afterwards, tried to find something in Google or ProSearch or something like that, research. And it was very difficult because I was just using, prompts, for ChatGPT, put it into the Google search and could find nothing because Google was a little bit, how I call it, I could not understand what I want.
What were you looking for exactly, if I may ask?
No, actually, I just ask, if I'm doing a prompt or asking questions in ChatGPT, I just type in what comes in my mind, wait for the answer, and then, do it, say, okay, it was not right. Then I change my prompts, as you say, until I get answer I can use. And then, and I tried the same system in Google. If you have just google.de or so, you type in, in the past, then you wrote, for instance, Mickey Mouse pictures, and then you got Mickey Mouse pictures. Yeah. So, but the changes that I said, 4K Mickey Mouse pictures in red host. So, and then Google stops. So because they cannot specify what you want. So you're trying to find in the internet Google pictures where Mickey Mouse has red hoses and smoking cigars is difficult. Why ChatGPT would find something, not find that, but the way I ask questions is different. more precise. You have to be very precise to get proper answers, right?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. That's the main thing. The input or the prompt, you would have to be very precise. But if you put in a very precise prompt, you would also get out a very precise output. So that is definitely something I had to learn, or my team had to learn, to make sure what is the right prompt, how specific can I be, and the three essentials. So an objective, also the tone of voice, or limitations, basically. So do use this, don't use that, and the keywords. The keywords are most important, I think, to put in there. And you can also, based on the output you get out, is to basically keep feeding it feedback until you get the desired result.
So what I learned too is that if you type in, for instance, questions, and then you redo it, and then you do it, for instance, in German, because my native language, and I said, please, I don't say right now, please translate that into, I just said in English, please. So then it's 30 milliseconds later, so you have the same text in English. Yeah, so then you want to have it in Chinese, no problem. So he's doing the same text in Chinese. And if you check it, you trust that more and more, that translation. So that's the best part for me at the moment. Yeah, so I'm using text, ideas I have, type it in, say, give me nice words in English, and then he's translating that into English. If you don't like it, you just change it a little bit. And so that's a very easy thing to use, right?
Yes, it really is. Yes, it really is. The thing I want to add is, if it translates, be sure to check it, or have it checked by a native speaker. If you want to send it to, I don't know, multiple people, or if it's an important thing, or if it would be for internal communication, yeah, use it. That's a good idea.
For it, it's easier than just translation or so.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. 100%.
Will develop. I have a question. So, you have all these other AI tools like video making and how you call it, voice changing, or using natural voices, avatars, pictures, but they all start with a prompt that maybe is generated from ChatGPT, or how does it work? So they're using different AI tools and just combining that, or?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, for example, there is a tool called Midjourney, which is one of the tools that makes these funny pictures you have seen. For example, the Mickey Mouse 4K with, I don't know, eating a hamburger. Add anything you would like in there. And what you basically would do in ChatGPT, and it might get a little bit technical, is basically put in the prompt yourself. So what you would want it to look like. And then tell ChatGPT, because Midjourney is another AI tool, exactly. Tell ChatGPT, hey, this is the image I would like to see with all the specifics. It's Mickey Mouse. He's eating a burger. He is on a field playing football. He is with two of his friends. And then ask ChatGPT, could you make this what I want, my requests, into a Midjourney prompt, which it will respond with a very technical prompt, a lot of code. But this is the code you can paste into Midjourney. And Midjourney is a paid tool. You would have to pay to use Midjourney. But that is actually the way, and that's the very simple way. There's some other steps you would have to take, is use an API, use some plugins. It's not really user friendly. I haven't used it and I don't use it. But I see that.
But it's the beginning, right? So you can see the future, how it works. Yeah. So you use one central tool like ChatGPT. Maybe it's something else coming up. You never know, Bart or something. So it's a rush, how we call it, a race. And then you take that central tool, and then you can connect. Not physically, or just clicking on a computer, but you ask specific code for some things.
Exactly. That is it.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
go-to
So another,
data set. Yeah.
and that's it. That's it. Yeah. So and for me, one last thing is sharing no information you would not share with your neighbor. I say some people sharing a lot with Siri and I don't know the other ones. If you share it with Siri, you can share it with ChatGPT, I would say, right?
100%. Yes. Yeah,
So and that
I couldn't agree more.
so and that's a big thing. Yeah.
I think there's one more question.
Yeah.
Or two now. So Mark Oliver pictures. DALL-E is actually also an
That's
AI
my
tool
favorite.
by OpenAI. So it's very easy to use. You can use it the same portal. You can log into OpenAI the same way you would log in to ChatGPT and start using DALL-E. It's pretty straightforward. And OpenAI makes sure that it is very user friendly. And how to use ChatGPT 4? It is the exact same way of using ChatGPT 3, but you would have to pay 20, I think it's dollars, 20 euros or $20 per month to use it. And if you plan on using it on a daily, I would definitely recommend buying a subscription for ChatGPT 4. You can see the differences in the output. It's basically, I don't know how else to say, but it's very smart. It's a lot smarter than ChatGPT 3 or 3.5.
So there are other questions.
No, is it right that Microsoft is now developing tools to make PowerPoint based on a Word report? That could be true. I haven't heard of it, but it
No, but
does.
it works already. So I tried. So if you have a subscription for 365, or they call it, I don't know how they call it now. So it's generating backgrounds in PowerPoint using the text you have on your how you call it PowerPoint. Yeah. So if you write something about a nice cat, so he will give you a background or a design fully automatic based on the content you have. But there's a small, you have to push a button in the top somewhere. For Word, I have not heard anything. You have heard anything on a Word
That's
report?
interesting. To be honest, I haven't. No, I'm not a big Microsoft. I don't really use Microsoft that much.
Yeah, but you have other tools like Prezi or Canva, or Adobe. Adobe is scary what they're doing at the moment, but Canva, for instance, so you can create in a graphic application pictures and designs, right? But I would always start with ChatGPT asking, what can I do with Canva? Can you give me a prompt? Yeah, so that's simple. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's very user friendly to get started with it and just learn by doing.
Yes, but there's also one danger. So you, the link. Joyce, we have to talk about that. I don't know which link you mean now. So it's maybe Canva or Adobe. PowerPoint everybody has, but we can talk about it on the phone afterwards. I just wanted to forgot what I wanted to. But I think the biggest change we will have now is how we do tasks for in projects, or ask questions or give tasks, maybe right English, give tasks in projects. Yeah, so you change your work, you change the language. That's I think that's dangerous. Yeah, so because if you use it a lot, you change the way you type tasks in computer or in email. So I think that's the dangerous part of it. Yeah, so you're getting more precise answers, of course. Yeah, so but you change it also in your communication with your project partners, employees or teammates. So That's a little bit difficult. But it is how it is. It will change anyhow because everybody's trying to use that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll see what the future brings.
Yes. Yeah. So, and it's too late. So you cannot stop it anymore. So the only thing you can put is a seal on I'm an I. So that's all.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, it's too late. It's out of the box, and we will see. So that's great. So I would just Anton, yeah, ChatGPT has the answer. It works.
Oh, fantastic! You tried.
Yeah. So, but I can, everybody should use that, yeah, because it's helping a lot. Yeah, if somebody asking you, can you give me today? Yeah, so some blah 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 blah. You say, oh God, I don't have an idea what to do. You can just ask ChatGPT for an idea, and then find your idea, and then make it. It's easier and faster. Yeah, sometimes if you're not slept well, had a very nice night out before. Oh, you're very tired and have to deliver some very important things.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one thing, Kaspar. If somebody has questions, not to go into detail. So, but I think very simple ones. So, I think Esther can contact you. So, if somebody want to have a one-to-one chat with you, maybe then everybody can contact Esther, right? And you are ready to help some people.
Of course, yes, of course. I think the handiest or easiest way is to send me a connection request on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. So please, yes, I invite you all to add me there. Also, if you don't have questions, it's good to stay in touch. I will be sharing insights on ChatGPT as well on LinkedIn. So yeah, LinkedIn is the place I'll be at. So yeah, let's connect.
Yeah. So, but we can all go deeper sometimes, maybe. So if somebody has questions, actually, I would like to understand, or not now. Yeah. So, so much will happen the next month. So how to connect that directly to my work. Yeah. So architects already are scared because people producing pictures of buildings with different facades just by prompting to an AI. Yeah. So kitchen design will change too. Restaurant design. So that's it. I designed my first DAL-E kitchen, but you don't understand me. You put a kitchen for home for a nice villa on the ocean. So, but it's good to see sometimes. So you can put it on the wall. I was trying to get rendering easy, but it's not there yet. But if I'm asking that, other people will ask that too, and that will come up in the internet soon.
Oh, for sure. Yes, for sure.
And you have one topic there. So they said, if you have questions, join our Discord server. So this Discord is a program used by gamers, I think, in the past, where and they don't let you send WhatsApps.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, privacy probably.
Yeah, so that you have to check. It's changing everything. Yeah. So, any more questions or something you would like to say? You have 2 minutes or 1 minute 30 seconds left.
No questions. I just want to thank you for giving me the stage, being able to explain a little bit more about ChatGPT. And as I said, if there's anything unclear or people would want to know more, just send me a message on LinkedIn. I will be able to share or go into detail or maybe have a call or whatsoever. I'm glad to help.
Yeah.
Even keep in mind, I'm not an expert on the topic.
Yeah.
I know one or two things. But yeah, if anyone wants to get started with ChatGPT or has a question on a prompt or whatsoever, just let me know. Shoot me a message.
But that was the good thing, that you are not an expert on ChatGPT, because if you a user, then you are on the same. Everybody is a user only at the moment. It's too much information if you tell the people how to code web pages with ChatGPT. So
It's
We
true.
don't do that, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but this is the good thing, yeah. So that's not information overload. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And thank you very much, and everybody here in the audience, thank you for joining.